On December 31st, 2008, I was born. Then I had my first birthday, my second, and my third, and so on. Now I'm presenting my project on family migration. That's basically my life in a nutshell. But what about all the other lives that came before mine? Well, let's rewind the clock to see what led me to be here with you all today. In the late 1800s, Italy was newly formed and a struggling country. The severe economic disparity between the industrializing north and the agricultural south caused a massive transatlantic migration. My great-great-grandparents, Pablo Lanza and Josefa Sandri, were victims of Italy's unfortunate economic state and migrated to Argentina, which at the time was experiencing an agricultural boom, transforming itself into a global economic power. My other great-great-grandfather, Ramon Ayala Gauna, was from the Basque country in the northern part of Spain. He moved to Argentina for similar reasons, where he met my great-great-grandmother, Victorina Figueroa, who was an indigenous Guarani from northern Argentina. Both of my great-grandparents were born and raised in Argentina. Their names were Angel Antonio Lanza and Emigdia Ernestina Ayala Gauna. They had two children, one of whom was my grandfather, Alcides Emigdio Lanza. Both of my grandfather's parents were working class. His father was a barber and his mother was the headmistress at the local school. My grandfather began taking piano lessons at the age of 7, but it wasn't until the age of 9 when my great-grandfather gifted young Alcides a piano with the money he won on a box of cigarettes that his passion for music truly started to bloom. In 1965, my grandfather left Argentina to pursue a musical career. Thanks to his Guggenheim Fellowship, he was brought to New York City. 4 years later, in 1969, he met my grandmother, Margaret Ellen Shepard. She moved to New York City to study theater and to live in the big city, a stark contrast to Ashtabula, Ohio, the small town she grew up in. My great-grandmother on my grandmother's side, Maud Elizabeth Gross, was born in the U.S. and adopted by German immigrants. My great-grandfather Charles Frederick Shepard was born in England, and he immigrated to the U.S. in 1921 at the age of 7, with his parents to create a better life for themselves across the Atlantic. In London, they were stuck as working-class citizens. However, in America, Charles and all of his brothers grew up and moved up the social hierarchy, becoming bankers and businessmen. My grandparents, Meg and Alcides, moved a lot when performing concerts around the world. They finally settled in Montreal, Canada, because my grandfather got a job as a professor and the director of the electronic music studio at McGill University.
I am Alcides Lanza. I was the director of the McGill Electronic Music Studio from 1975 until about last year.
In 1974, they had their first child, Adriana Lanza, or my mom. She was born in Canada, and so is my father, Éric Sévigny, who came from a French-Canadian background that traces all the way back to the Filles du Roi in the late 1600s. My parents met in 2007 and had me a little over a year later on December 31st, 2008 in Montreal, Canada.